This episode features discussions about mental illness, trauma, and discrimination. These topics may be sensitive or triggering for some of our listeners. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Found My Voice, Supporting Youth Welfare, a podcast for young people by young people in Western Sydney. We go beyond the surface to explore issues faced by youth every day. Proudly supported by the Western Sydney Migrant Resource Centre. Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Abdul Rehman and I'm excited to host this episode. Self-expression and confidence are big issues for young people. Maybe you're struggling to speak up, or maybe you feel pressure to say something you're not. In this episode, we are joined by special guest Mediha, who is a student and a young founder of NGO, The Deep Ends. We are also welcoming Rahma, a student living in Western Sydney. They will be sharing their own personal stories of building confidence and self-esteem. We hope you feel inspired after listening. Welcome, Mediha and Rahma.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. How are you today?
Hello.
Let's begin. Why did you choose the self-expression as a topic for this project?
So today, in the day and age of the media and of trends, it's hard to authentically kind of represent yourself and to advocate and really stand up for what you stand for and your values. To me, self-expression is so much more than just how you conduct yourself and your style, but it's the way you advocate for your needs and you ask the questions that everyone in the room is struggling to ask you. Self-expression kind of operates more at a level of your values and your ideals and how you're going to convey these in your day-to-day life. And so I think in growing up in Western Sydney, I've struggled with this. I know people who struggled with this, and I think it's a really important thing that all youth and everyone really embed and develop today.
Mediha. Rama, what about you?
I chose to be a part of this topic because I experienced how to become confident. I encourage my friends how to stand up by themselves as well. So I think it's a good idea to speak up out there to everyone that needed to hear this. Yeah,
that's wonderful. What does authentic expression mean to you, Rama?
it's just to be like you and to keep on your words, to stand up on you and to be confident of what you really are, because there's people who actually good in something but they are not sure, oh, should I do it or not. So it's just do it because it's you, it's a part of you, it makes you it represents you, who you are. Yeah
To push and go forward. What about you, Mediha?
So to me, authentic expression means when I walk into a room, I can stand up and I can talk holistically for myself and on my values and my ideals without being scared or being afraid that, oh, this person's going to judge me, this person might say this about me. And so authentically expressing yourself is going to mean to me that I can stand up and be confident in who I am.
Rahman, tell me about time you struggled to express yourself.
There was a time when I first came in Australia. I was in IC. I didn't know how to speak any English. I couldn't have the confidence to stand for myself or to say, I need this, I need that. In IC, but I feel like I don't belong here just because they speak a different language from me. It's something everyone who come different background can experience something like that, because we all have that different things and thoughts, but in my mind I was one day I'm gonna be better just because I'm here now. I have no choice. When I look back, I remember all the good time I had. I was free speaking in only one language with people, but here I have to change. Have to change my language to this, to get help, to feel like I belong in a group of people.
Mediha, how did you learn to build confidence and express yourself authentically?
So as much as I can talk now and I have a lot to say now and I don't really hesitate, there was a time where if you had asked me to speak or you would ask me a question, I would barely answer. My voice wouldn't even really like leave my mouth because I was terrified of public speaking. I couldn't express myself. I didn't know how to word myself or articulate myself, and I didn't really understand how people who did it, how people who got up on the stage, they talked so carelessly, so fluently, so freely. I was envious. I couldn't even believe that they had it in them to just be so confident automatically. And so I think in seeing these, sitting through those public speaking competitions in my primary school and watching people get up, talk, and say what they had to say, I think that I was really inspired, and that inspiration slowly trickled into my everyday life as I grew up and as I grew older, because I saw the consequences, or the positive consequences, of speaking up when you needed to speak up. I think that for me, seeing these people express themselves so confidently was a formative moment in my life, because I saw how far you can get just from being able to talk and network, how far you can get from being able to articulate yourself, and how powerful your voice really is. We've talked about this before, but your voice kind of shapes reality for you. Your voice will shape your reality and your perception of everything around you. And so I first learned that my voice mattered and that I can speak up. One day I was in a competition, and I had prepared for weeks for this competition, nights for this competition, written out my palm cards, written everything out, and I could speak, but I could only speak on what I had prepared. Didn't know anything about what I didn't prepare. And so the whole chamber was really quiet actually, and no one was saying anything, and out of nowhere I got picked on. And I remember being terrified. Like, I remember my heart like genuinely exiting my body. I was like, just take me at this point. I remember praying, God, just take me. If you're there, just take me right now. I was so scared to speak. And obviously I can't, it's a competition. I don't want to lose. I get up and I talk. And I get up and I'm talking, and at first I'm stuttering and I can feel my cheeks going red. I can feel how embarrassed I am. But as I'm speaking, I'm watching everyone in that room. They're nodding, they're agreeing, and they're agreeing with the notions of what I have to say.
Wow.
And afterwards, I remember people came and they were like, Mediha, you spoke so well. You articulated yourself so well. We were thinking that, but we didn't know how to say it. So thank you for saying it. And I remember in that moment, I realized how powerful my voice was, and how speaking up, even in something sort of competition, when you speak up for yourself, you're not just speaking up for yourself, you're speaking up for the people around you. You're representing the people around you and not just yourself. And I feel like that in itself was so important to me and so emotional to me, because I realized that my voice had the power not to change just my life but other people's lives. And so from then on, I went on to build other things, my non-profit, and I went to do other advocacy items, and I went to run and do other speeches and empower people. And so through this, I've really learned how to build my confidence and how to help others build their confidence and make them more articulate as well, because I've truly learned that the best thing you can do for yourself in this world is be able to express yourself and represent the people around you and be confident.
Back to Rahma. You know how you said that English was your first language and you lacked some confidence and to speak with others? So how did you build that confidence to speak with others and be fluent in English?
Thankfully, I go like teacher around me, and also like only me left out from people they are speaking English. But I go teachers who are supporting me. Like even myself, I say I have to build this confidence. Either it's work or not, I just have to do it. Even if I don't know where to start, but I guess I have to do it. And my mom was there, my family, like they told me like, yes, you got this. We trust you, just do it. And also I had like a background, like knowledge. So it was kind of easy for me because French and English, it's kind of like similar things. So it was so easy, but just like to pronounce words and then like to say things properly, it was so hard. But I tried as much as I can just to be confident, to speak around people. Teachers helped me, like students, because I wasn't alone. People from Afghanistan, like Iraq, Iran. We were all in the same class. We don't know like how to say anything in English, but thankfully our teachers and support, like they were there supporting us and make us like where we have to be, and we thought, yeah, we have to do it. So it's how I built my confidence.
That's wonderful, Rama. A question for you. Why do you think so many people feel afraid to be themselves? Since you're very confident, you're being yourself. Why do you think people are afraid to be themselves?
I think people like they are afraid because first of all, people around them. If you don't have someone to support you, you can't do it. You may have like, oh, I'm good on this, but I don't have anyone to take my hand to support me. So they scare or they're afraid, oh, I can't do it. People gonna laugh me. People gonna do this. But just, it depends like with people. Because me, I really don't care about what people talk about me. If I'm doing things bad, it's up to them what they think. No. So me, I just encourage myself as who I am. Like sometimes I don't take people opinions. It's just I do things by myself. And I know, I understand people, we are different. Some people may need like maybe to inspire them or to tell them, oh, you have to do this. You are good on this. Just do it. Do this. But sometimes they take it like they are different. They take it, and sometimes, oh, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just leave it like that. But we need to be there for other people, like to advise them, to support them, even though they are not in that level. But our opinion, our advice, we left them up. That's what I believe.
Back to Mediha. Why is self-expression is so important for mental health?
Thank you. So I'm going to start this off with a quick personal story. When I first joined primary school, I was in a white-dominated primary school. As I was growing up, I had grown up my whole life around very cultural things and loving my culture, loving my religion, and loving the things around me, my festivals, my religion, things like that. But when I started kindergarten, when I moved, I was in a very white-dominated primary school, as I said, and I faced a lot of the really base, like, discriminatory things that kindergartners would say to each other. I remember being called a purple alien for being brown. And see, I don't really see the correlation between purple and brown, but we'll let that one sit. And so I faced a lot of really discriminatory things, and I remember my confidence was like below the rocks. Like all through primary school, I don't think I was ever confident enough to speak for myself or say anything for myself. I hated my culture because I was told it was wrong. I hated myself because I was told that what I was wrong. It was different. It wasn't what was normal. And so when I couldn't express myself, I didn't feel confident in myself. And so when I looked at myself in the mirror, all I saw was a failure. All I saw was someone who didn't meet the standard, who didn't meet the norm. And so obviously as I've grown up, I've changed, I've received more support, and moreover, the environment I'm in has changed entirely. I'm now surrounded by people who love their ethnicity, their cultures, their backgrounds, their religions, and that shift innately is what shaped my love again for my culture and for who I am. And so it's helped me express myself. Being a young Muslim in Western Sydney, I wear the hijab, and so it's a very big part of my identity. And I remember at first when in year 7, I decided I'm going to start wearing the hijab. When I decided that, I was terrified because I thought, what if people have things to say? What am I going to do? And obviously, I didn't really know how that was going to go, and I had no choice other than to just see, okay, we'll see what happens. Okay? Just go with the flow, we'll see what happens. If something happens bad, then I'll deal with it. If something good happens, I'll deal with it. Nothing happens. And I think that's something we forget in life, that so many of the time, we're so anxious about an outcome. We think, oh my god, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? And then it happens and it's just normal. In our brain, we minimize the smallest things. And so, like, obviously bringing it back to what the question was, sorry about that. the reality here is that when you're not confident in yourself, and when you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't see the charming, confident, funny, you don't see those good characteristics of yourself, you cannot be happy with yourself. And if you cannot be happy with yourself, you cannot be happy in general, because at the end of the day, you're someone in your body, and to be happy with who you are, you need to be confident and be proud of who you are, be proud of what you bring to the table. And so being able to express yourself confidently without any fear, without any judgment, and with an innate proudness of who you are, your family, your heritage, your ideas, your values, with that pride, your mental health will increase and be so benefited from that entirely. And so then that's also why I went and I built my nonprofit, because I saw the effects of how the lack of self-expression has affected our youth today. And I think that being able to express yourself and being confident in yourself are the key factors to supporting your mental health.
Back to Rahma, you know how you said that you should do what you like to do, be yourself. So what is it that you do to be self-esteem and be yourself and be a positive sense?
First of all, you have to be positive in everything. You have to be positive. And I love to try new things. And I like to be around people, my friend, my family, so that I can learn more how different people are from me and what makes me like unique from them. So, and I like to think about what I'm going to do, what can make me like change, or to keep like building this confidence.
So getting back to the question, what are the things that you have done that you really like and you're doing it right now?
Yeah, I learned how to dance and how to make new food.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there was a time when back home where like everyone was saying, oh, you don't know how to dance this dance, you don't know how to do this. And I was feeling like I left out from the group. Like, why you guys like saying this to me? You have to help me so that I can be better like you guys. But in another way, I think, oh, so if I don't know how to do this thing, that means I'm different from you guys. So that means I'm special, I'm unique. But I said, no, I have to learn how to dance. Yeah. And other thing that I learned, it was like to improve my writing in English. Yeah, so I learned like how to make like specific words and write my essays, like write a story. Oh, it was so good, and I believe that I improve a lot. I can say on myself. Yes.
Okay, I want to go back to Mediha. What do you think social media and comparison culture affects confidence in young people?
So in the day and age of the media, we see people who are so much older than us in completely different backgrounds, completely different privileges, completely different everything. And we look at them and we're so envious. We're like, wow, this person's doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. But we don't realize that social media only shows the 10% best things of someone's life. We really fail to see that. And so like when you're scrolling through Instagram, you're scrolling through people's stories, and say 10 people have gone out and you've watched 10 stories, you're gonna think, wow, these people are doing so much, and what am I doing? I'm sitting here and watching the stories. But have you considered that that's 10 different people, and they're going out maybe once, and maybe that's the one time they're going out? So we're really quick to be like, wow, I'm doing nothing, and comparing yourself. And I think that fundamentally comparison is like the thief of joy. We've all heard that one before. And so as a young person, when you have so much pressure already on you, pressure to succeed, pressure that maybe when you're older you're not going to be able to find a job, pressure that maybe in the future you're not going to be able to have enough money or support your family or have friends, there are so many pressures we face every single day as young people. And so the reality is we need to sit back and we need to actually be confident and be present in ourselves before we go to compare ourselves with others. Because the key thing in life, and this is something that I've actually been told for my entire life, is that in order to improve, you must look one step below you and one step above. So let me explain that. So say I'm someone in school and I just get an exam mark back and I did okay. And I'm not feeling great about my mark. I think the key thing here is to think, okay, there are people who got below me and I could have done worse. And then you have to think, I did my best, I put in efforts, and you have to be proud of yourself, because without having that confidence and pride in yourself, you cannot continue. You cannot continue happily. You cannot continue and be strong in yourself, because you have not built this trust in yourself. If you cannot trust a friend, you will not go to them for advice or help or hang out with them. The same thing applies to yourself. You need to be able to trust yourself. And so in that same way, once you have consoled yourself, now you have to think, okay, there are people who did better than me. How am I going to do better for next time? How am I going to improve myself for next time? And so this balance is what is going to fundamentally improve your life and the quality of your life, by comparing yourself to both someone below and someone above you, because that is how you'll improve yourself while consoling yourself without being envious. Because being envious in this world will get you nothing. Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. I'm a human, you're a human. Nothing makes you any more different than me. Nothing makes you better than me or worse than me. At the end of the day, if I hold a gun to your head, you're going to be scared. If you hold a gun to my head, I'm going to be scared. And so we have to remember that not only are we human, but confidence in itself, no one is confident. It's a fake it till you make it type of thing. And so at the end of the day, when you go onto social media and you watch all those stories, you watch all this, you need to remind yourself that firstly, not only is social media not the reality of things, but you're seeing snippets of lives. And to be happy and to be stable in yourself, you need to look at those both above and below you. Something that I've seen recently, and something that I've actually been working on recently, is that I've seen that there's a really big misalignment in young people. We have these pressures and we're like, okay, how can I be better? How can I do this more? And we worry, okay, how can I from 5 years from now be this person? The real hack is you're going to sit down and you're going to write down who you want to be and who you see yourself as. And from now on, you're not going to work in a way of you're trying to become that person, but you're going to work like you already are that person. This is a dilemma. It's like the runner's dilemma. And there was a study conducted on it where people who said they were runners and how much they ran compared to people who said they were trying to run. People who told themselves and called themselves runners consistently got up every single morning and went for a run, because there's this idea and this identity of a label. When you place a label upon yourself, whether it be bad or good, you follow the roles and the instructions and the kind of job that follows in that label. And so if I tell myself I am a confident person, I can speak fluently, and I can be confident in myself and what I have to bring to the table, that is the way you will act, even if it is nerve-wracking at first. And so I think that while there are all these things that are going to affect your confidence regardless, there are going to be times where you are the youngest in the room, the smallest in the room, the least experienced in the room. You have to hold your head up high and tell yourself, I am this person and I am going to carry myself in this way to continue to build your confidence and build yourself. And that's kind of the main thing I want the listeners of today to really take away. So yeah, that's how I feel like confidence is affected in young people.
That's wonderful the way you put it together. Just to end up the episode, Rahma, I would like to ask you a question. What advice would you give to someone who is struggling with self-worth?
The advice is that don't stop doing what you want to do. Just keep it, even if it's go down sometimes, just don't give up. Don't look back where you came from. Just keep going until you reach your goals, because everyone have their goals and everyone have their dreams they need like to make it on top. There's people who like behind you, who watching you like, and they want to see you success to something that you really want. So don't give up. Don't stop doing what you're doing just because other people they're talking.
Thank you, Mediha and Rahma, for sharing your stories with us. I'm sure that the listeners are feeling inspired and hopeful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you for listening to Found My Voice, supporting youth welfare. If this episode brought up anything for you and you require support, please contact Lifeline on 131114 or email giving@lifeline.org.au. You can also call Kids Helpline on 1800 55 1800 or email counsellor@kidshelp.com.au. This podcast is supported by the Western Sydney Migrant Resource Centre. Visit their website for resources and links mentioned in this episode.